What's your take on wrestlers doing too much on social media? Does it help or hurt their mystique?
So this is one of those questions that I enjoy when we do this because I get to speak on it from the perspective of having been around for a while. And I'm uniquely qualified to discuss this one from the perspective of a guy who's seen the transition. When I started, social media wasn't a thing. When I first started in WWE, like Facebook wasn't a thing yet. It was still MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace, right?
MySpace was social media.
And Facebook took your college ID to be able to log into.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, Facebook wasn't a thing yet. Self-promotion was almost non-existent. The only way you were able to really get promoted is if you were able to get booked on shows, or if you would drive yourself in a carload of fellow wrestlers hundreds of miles to get booked on a show for nothing, just for an opportunity. And then the back then, you had DVDs and VHS tapes. So some indie show might do a big show, and names that you hear about. And if you were able to get on, I think it was Jim Keltner had like the Super 8, which was a big indie thing on the East Coast with like all the top like high flyer guys, basically, if memory serves me correct. So when I started, it was very, very difficult to get yourself out there to be promoted. And then when social media first came along and these opportunities to promote yourself, initially, like most things, unfortunately, pro wrestling was very reluctant to receive this new stuff, and I remember Matt Hardy was on the cutting edge of all that. Like he had I'm pretty sure like the Hardy show with his brother. That was he had an early presence on MySpace and then Facebook and then social media. He got it way before a lot of people did, but sign of the times, oh, he's just a mark for himself. Or you stooging, man, you on the dirt sheet stooging, he would get shit for it. But he was ahead of the game. And then as technology and social media has grown, nowadays, you can't be a successful wrestler without a social media presence. You need one. Right. You have to have one in order to get booked and in order to grow your fan base and to interact with your fans. Now you have to have a connection with your fans. So you use the word mystique. I think that mystique is almost gone from professional wrestling now, for the most part. The Undertaker had an impenetrable mystique for decades. And now he's retired. He's Mark Calloway. And he has a podcast. And you can have access to the man who was in your nightmares for so many years.
Right. And he was in mine.
Yeah. He was in everybody's. He was the Undertaker, So he had the mystique. And back in the day, and that's something that I talk about sometimes, about the loss of the mystique due to the accessibility. When I was growing up, mixed martial arts didn't exist yet. Professional wrestlers were the mixed martial artists. So the question was, who are these people that fight each other in cages and get bloody? And like, I couldn't fathom, as a kid, like I liked to watch it, but thought like, man, what kind of people like agree to go in a cage and fight and get bloody and coal miner glove matches and dog strap matches and like, man, what kind of... So you had the mystique because if somebody was a pro wrestler and you saw him on TV, and again, the timeline, then being on TV was a thing. And I laugh about it, but I have people, the power of television, that just, amplifies who and what you are. Back then was a big deal because just anybody couldn't be on TV. Even if it was your local
PBS.
PBS station
Yeah.
or your college access, hey man, I seen you on TV, man. But now we have YouTube
Yes.
and you have Instagram, and so everybody's on TV now. You don't have to have talent to be on TV anymore.
100
You don't need
millions of
talent to be
Truman
famous.
shows. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I have sympathy for the new generation of talent that are doing too much because they're competing with so many other people. And that's why, I understand when some of these younger wrestlers are on these shows doing what I would say is idiotic, death-defying things. They're trying to get noticed. They're trying to be seen. In an ocean of young, talented people trying to be seen, they're trying to be seen.